way of answering, is it worth it? But
yeah.
I think that's the $1 million question, right? I'm thinking strategy. What does this mean for everyone else?
Hi, I'm Camilla.
And I'm Kang, and we are
the FI Resellers. And we are back with a What Sold video. We are covering 3 weeks of sales because we missed last week. So
we've been busy.
Yeah, we've been really busy. So we are going to show some of those top dollar sales. Then we are going to talk about Poshmark's promoted closets. We got approved for that this week. So we have a little bit of experience of how it currently works. It is in beta, so some of the things that we say might change, but we're gonna share our thoughts, share a little bit about how it works, answer some questions. We put out a poll on our Instagram, so we asked you if you had any questions, and so we're gonna answer some of those. So you wanna stay tuned to kind of see what it looks like, see what our thoughts are, and all of that.
Yeah, one of our items in our highlights actually was sold with the Poshmark promoted closets. So you want to look at that, see what's sold, and we'll tell you a little bit about that sale too. What we've got here are a pair of Doc Martens, but they are a Pendleton collab. Ooh, really cool. Look at this really nice design. You can really see that they're just different. And that's just what caught Camilla's eye when she picked it up. It needed a little bit of work. We used Doc Martens Wonder Balsam, and this is a bottle of it here. You can get it on Amazon for a decent amount. I think it was under $15. But anyway, rubbing it on just kind of helps with the leather. Obviously, it doesn't make it like perfect or anything, but it definitely brings back some of the life to it. And giving it back some of that moisture is really important for shoes like this. Makes it more flexible, bendable, all of that. So be on the lookout for Doc Martens in general, but this one's really rare. We got it and we sold it for $150 plus shipping on eBay. Full price sale. We love it. And pretty good size, pretty easy to look up because it says it right there, Pendleton Biker. All in all, really good find, really lucky find actually. And it sold in just a few days, so we're really happy to have gotten this sale.
We sold this quilt on eBay for $100, and this is even a signed quilt. It's so cute. It says, 1959, and it was in really nice condition. It does have yellowing for sure, but it is not torn at all. And I thought it was just so cute. I feel like this would be so cute for like a little boy's room or something like that, but it's in really nice condition. So it sold within a day for $100 to a return buyer, which is really awesome. And I feel like we don't often get return buyers on our account, but I feel like more often we see them with our quilt buyers. I think that they just, there's not that many people selling quilts on eBay, and so we're one of those people, and the buyers who are looking for quilts are definitely buying from, this small pool of people. So as always, don't sleep on quilts, and we'll have in the description down below a link to some information about common patterns that you might see of quilts so that you know what to be on the lookout for when you're at the thrift store, garage sales, estate sales, the bins, wherever you source, so that you can make some good money on quilts as well. Next, we have this pair of boots by Thierry Rabitin, and these sold for $40 within just a day of listing. They are really nice boots, and the reason I priced them kind of lower on the lower end was the sell-through rate was not very good, especially with this style. I saw a couple others that were listed in the same style and same size, so I kind of undercut them a little bit, but really happy with this sale. I think this is definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. It's one of those high quality brands. It sells for quite a bit. I even have the tag on the bottom here from the original store that they were sold at, and you can see that they were really expensive new, like seriously out of this world expensive. I would never pay that much, but really happy with this sale. And this just goes to show you to experiment with new brands. This was a brand new brand to me. I never picked them up before, took a chance, and really happy that I did because that was a quick $40. Here we have a pair of teaks. These were in really nice condition, so they sold for $75, which we were super excited about. We love finding teaks at the bins. We seem to find them somewhat often because I think that other people at our bins, don't take any notice of them. And so sometimes they're even in bins that people have gone through already, which is just crazy to us. But really excited for this sale. $75 is what I had them listed for. So a full price sale, which is super rare for me nowadays, but really excited to send these off. These are in the color Feather Gray. Usually with teaks, what I do is I look them up and see if I can match the color so that I, can hit that buyer right on the nose, who is looking for that exact pair of shoes. Okay, so here is one for our record books. Well, not really, but this was an amazing sale. We are so happy with this sale. This is a Magnolia Pearl blouse. This is the Marburger blouse, and this sold for $300. I cannot believe that this sold for $300. I picked it up randomly. I was at Pavement trying to sell some stuff. They didn't buy anything from me. That's okay because I picked this blouse up for just $12. I believe that they didn't really know what they had, and I think that they thought it was damaged because you can see on the collar there, it's rain, but from the stock photos, it looks like it was created that way. Magnolia Pearl is a brand that I think now is owned by Free People, but it's known for its very distressed looks, like almost like French peasant meets, boho, but people in New York wear it. So don't be afraid if you find Magnolia Pearl. If it looks like it's damaged, you should look at the stock photo because it might be the way that it is actually supposed to be designed. And also, don't be afraid if you don't see a size tag because Magnolia Pearl is just one size, which to me, this does not seem like it would be one size, but I guess it is. But I had this listed and it got a ton of watchers right away. It got a ton of likes on Poshmark. I think I had 21 watchers when I accepted an offer for $300. Can't believe it. Really great sale. Definitely one for our BOLO list. One that we have been waiting for to find, and we are so excited to have sold it.
What we've got here is a really thick camo shirt by King of the Mountain, and this is their sports line. So we've sold a bib by this company, and that one sold for over $200, and this one sold for $240. So we had gotten these from the bins. Be on the lookout for this brand, not necessarily just the sports line. This one seems to be a little older, but overall really happy with the sale because we were willing to take $220, but what we ended up doing was declining the offer and lowering the price to see if we can get a different offer, and the guy raised his offer to $240. Again, we were willing to take $220, but we got an extra $20 from that little strategy there. This is a really sought after brand, a really good item, and so we were comfortable declining that $220, and it worked out because we got a little bit extra. And if you want to check out the haul on when we got this, we'll put it up in the top right for you. This is a really good haul, so really happy with the sale, and it's being shipped to Canada, so that's technically international shipping, and a lot of the guarantees with international shipping through eBay is just like so good that we love getting sales to other countries.
So here I have a vintage feed sack quilt. This is definitely what's called a cutter quilt. That means that it is in poor condition, so it is meant to be used for other projects, meant to be cut up and repurposed or repaired in some way, restored in some way. It's not necessarily meant to be used as is. And even though it's in such poor conditions, we sold it for $50 plus shipping. But I picked this up because it has so many beautiful feed sack fabrics in it, and this is called the log cabin pattern. So you'll see each block is these rectangles that kind of get smaller and smaller as they come in, and they're stacked on top of each other like logs. And so this is a classic pattern. This was often used, way back in the day in the 1800s into the turn of the century. So definitely be on the lookout. This is a pattern that you should know that, it will help if you put it in the keywords. If you say, log cabin, people are looking for that particular pattern, and they're definitely looking for feed sack fabrics, which are these more, vintage fabrics often made out of, what people got their flour, their sugar, their, feed for their animals in, and it was different patterns for the different companies or, things like that. So definitely be on the lookout for these kind of bright colored patterns, the florals. People are definitely looking for that online. Okay, so we sold these 2 sweaters in a bundle on Poshmark, and this was actually our first sale using promoted closets. And so this naked cashmere sweater sold via promotions, and on Poshmark it shows you, which listings have sold because it was promoted. We're going to tell you a little bit more about how the promoted closet works right now. But these two sold together in a bundle for $80. I had them listed originally a little bit higher. The naked cashmere sweater was originally $75, and so I had it as $60 in the bundle, and the Saks Fifth Avenue was originally $30, but the naked cashmere is definitely the brand to be on the lookout for. They're really expensive new and they resell pretty well, so definitely be on the lookout for them because they can sell for a good amount and you might just pass them by because they're pretty plain. Okay, so some amazing sales. In total, we sold 99 items for a gross revenue of $3,306.05. The cost of goods on those 99 items was $225.88. On eBay, we sold 59 items for $1,502.22. Poshmark, we sold 38 items for $562.05. Facebook, we sold 3 items for $57.51. So in total, our net profit from all 3 of those places was $2,121.78.
Nice.
So a really good 3 weeks. That's pretty much where we want to be, about $700 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And considering we didn't sell that many items, so 99 divided by 3, even with that, we sold a lot of really high dollar items. So that helps us a lot. And that's kind of the way that we want to be moving in our business. So really happy with that. It seems like Poshmark had kind of a slow time these past couple weeks. Partially, I think it is a result of the promoted closet. So previous to 5 days ago, we didn't have access to that. So I think that Poshmark has been, obviously promoting those items to people, whoever else had those promoted closets. And so maybe their items were selling when mine weren't. But we got access to that just 5 days ago. And so we wanted to show you a little bit about how it works and answer some of your questions. First of all, how it works is you sign up. Right now it's in beta form, so they give you 4 weeks free. You do have to add a credit card when you sign up. And once those 4 weeks are up, you will be charged the amount that they are charging you for each promotion. And the way it's charged is by click, price per click on your item. You can only promote your entire closet. You can't pick and choose which items you promote or not promote. And the price per click is not the same, it's not 1 cent per click. It seems to vary based on, I guess, how aggressively they're promoting your item or not. It's not very transparent on the pricing end of it. You can set a weekly budget. So you can't do that while it's still the free 4 weeks, but you can do that afterwards. So it automatically sets you at $30 per week as your weekly budget. So it will never exceed that amount. It might not reach that amount, but it will never exceed that amount. And that determines, how much they're promoting or not promoting. I assume that they have some algorithm that figures that out. That's something to be aware of, that if you sign up for this 4-week trial, you really have to kind of be on the ball at the end of the 4 weeks to either cancel it or to change your budget if you don't want to spend $30 per week, which I don't think would ever want to spend $30 per week. That is that's $120 per month. That's a lot.
That's way too much. At the scale that we are at, right? When we are talking about our profits for 3 weeks, you can see that we're not making a whole lot on Poshmark. So it doesn't make sense for us to set any sort of budget that is remotely close to $120 per month.
Right.
It would just eat far too much into our profits. So at the scale that we're at, doesn't make sense. Maybe for much bigger closets. When we had originally thought about what promoted closets would look like, we thought, okay, this is probably for a few groups of people. Bigger sellers, those companies who have secondhand stores like Levi's and other places. We got a lot of questions of, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Personally, it doesn't seem to be worth it for smaller closets like us.
So we have about 800 items in our closet. And so for 5 days, the amount that we would have been charged if we were not in the free first 4 weeks, it's $11.54. So I would think if it keeps kind of going this way, I would think we would be maybe at $15-16 by the end of the week. And we've made one sale, and the sale that we made was that naked cashmere sweater. And let me tell you the story about this sale. So in my dashboard on the promoted closets, it shows that sold, via promoted listings. It did sell in a bundle. So it shows the original price, but that's not really what the price was because I sold it in a bundle. Yeah. However, I assume what happened was this buyer saw my promoted listing, she clicked on it, but then she went into my closet and bundled other items. She definitely was looking through my closet because she, liked a couple other items and added them to her bundle and then decided which one she was going to buy. So even though it shows that, as that was the one that sold via promoted listings, it did get her into my closet and bundling items and purchasing from me. So I do think that that is a good sign. I have read that some people say it takes a little while for the momentum to build on your promoted closet. I do think it is pretty steep of a price to pay, considering we already pay 20% in fees. You have to pay the shipping discount, and if it's an item that is less than $15, you have to pay even more than 20%. But for us, as primarily on eBay, and Poshmark is kind of our side dish, we probably aren't going to do it. If you were like on Poshmark and that was the only platform you were on, or it was your main platform, I think maybe you would consider it more. And to be fair, we've only experienced it for a few days. Maybe by the end of the 4 weeks, our minds will have been changed and we will see a lot of these sales.
Yeah, we'll definitely update you, so keep up with us. In the next 3 or 4 weeks, we'll keep testing this for you for sure.
So a couple other questions that we got was, is it open to everyone yet? Not yet. It is still in beta. You can apply, I think, on their blog. You can, put in that you want to be a part of it. And I think that they are rolling people into this and hoping that people sign up and start paying for it. But it is still in beta, so they are making changes. They just recently made a change where now they're going to show you, the impressions that you have compared to the number of clicks that you have. Actually, one downfall of this, data so far is it doesn't have anything really to compare to. So I don't know how many clicks I was getting before the items were promoted. So I don't have anything to compare it to. I'm like, okay, I've gotten this many clicks, but is that better? Is that the same? I don't know, because I didn't have any data before. Now I have some data, but I don't know. So I wish that they had more analytics to show me so that I could actually make a good comparison, instead of just like, oh, look, here are these numbers out of thin air. So I do think that that is a downfall. I wish that they had more analytics. I could see, the number of sales promoted versus not promoted, the number of impressions promoted versus not promoted, like on eBay. On eBay, you have all sorts of data. They are trying to help you sell as many things as possible. On Poshmark, they're like, oh yeah, it's just for fun, just having fun. Anyway, I wish that they would do that. And that is one thing that I feel like it's hard to make a decision about this, because you're like, is it really helping? I can't tell. Would that sweater have sold even if it wasn't promoted?
Yeah, we always say cashmere equals cashmere, so we likely would have sold regardless.
Right, exactly. That's something to think about as you're signing up for this. It's hard to get that hard and fast data on, is it really helping? How is it working? The program right now is very opaque, and that is really frustrating to me as someone who likes to know, exactly what I'm getting, all of that.
We had a really interesting question of, do you think it will replace sharing our items? And I don't think that they're going to go away from that business model or that social media type feel. It's what they built their platform on, right? So I don't think that they would replace it with this, and I don't think that it would completely go away even if this promoted closets thing were to be successful. So to answer the question, we're not sure yet, but our impression is probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but again, we've only experienced it for a few days and we are still sharing our items, so I don't know, that would be a good experiment to test.
We should stop sharing our items until this thing is over.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that.
I'm not sure what direction Poshmark is going. I wish I had, insider knowledge. I wish I was a fly on the wall of their headquarters to see, actually how things are working.
Right.
But instead, what we do is, we take what we know and we try to implement it in, the most low effort, high reward way that we can, especially with Poshmark, because it's not our main platform. We try to, not put a lot of effort into it so that it can kind of run almost passively in addition to our eBay business.
For the people who do use Poshmark as their core platform, it probably is worth it to some extent to do this promoted closets. I'm thinking strategy, right? So what does this mean for everyone else? We want to consider people who specialize in a certain aesthetic, maybe a certain type of closet that they've curated and they've done it really well, and they have better items than we do on average. So we sell a little bit of everything. We sell men's clothing, we sell women's clothing, we sell pretty much every single size that we get. We sell all of these different aesthetics and these different styles with dresses, with shirts, some jeans. All of these things don't really lend itself exactly to promoting a single closet, right? If we go back to the idea that Camilla presented of the buyer possibly going into the closet and scrolling through it, if they filter by size, they might see maybe 200 items out of 800 that are in our closet. So that makes it a little easier to scroll through. But if you think about someone who is more specialized than us, they might be able to see 30 very specific things that are really good for this one buyer. And this one buyer might like 10 of those things and buy 10 of those 30 items. That also kind of answers the question, is it worth it? Because again, it's not worth it to us, but it could be worth it for other people. So if you think about maybe some other YouTubers that you might watch who are really good at aesthetics and they really focus on like certain things in their closets, we are not like that, but we do see a lot of other people doing that, and they're really good at their Poshmark business. And so that's just something to think about. I think, you know, the really long-winded way of answering, is it worth it? But it could be possible that that's what this is for. That does kind of make sense, right? Like, you want a person to go into the closet, make bundles, and sell as many items as you can all at once. So it's a win for you, it's a win for Poshmark. They still get the 20%, and you have to pay for the promoted closet. I think that's the $1 million question, right? Is it worth it to pay extra? Is it worth it that they're even testing this thing? And I think in the end, they're going to figure out what works for them. And, you know, there are a few niche closets that will actually be worth it.
Yeah, I think especially for, you know, vintage sellers that are using a lot of keywords, not necessarily brands, it would be helpful. And people who sell a lot of higher dollar items, it would be helpful. I do think that they are promoting some of the, you know, more expensive items so that they get more of that fee. They're like stacking their gains here. They get the big fee, they get the promoted, you know, fees, all that kind of stuff. So I do think that's a little bit how it's gonna work. So if you're one of those two closets, you might have more success as well.
So yeah, there you go. That's our take on it. Hopefully that's helpful to you. Hopefully you keep up with us as we continue to test this. We might take a week off on sharing. We might just only try this promoted closets things. We're going to test this as best we can so that we can tell you in the next 3 or 4 weeks what that actually looks like. All right, as promised, we show you a little bit of our journey towards financial independence, and this is part of it. This is the total stock market index experiment that we've been doing for over 1.5 years, I think, at this point. And this is where we are. The last time we made a video, it was down like $600 or $700. Now we're only down about $100. So, so to you, that should tell you that things are on the upswing. Maybe it's time to jump in if you're interested. Maybe it's time to look into it if you don't know much about it. But essentially, this is our main vehicle for investing and growing our wealth so that we can pursue financial independence, maybe retire early, all of that. We are part of the FIRE movement, right? And we're trying so hard to use this eBay and Poshmark and this reselling business to fuel that journey to get there earlier and faster.
So thank you so much for watching. Let us know down in the comments if you are in the Promoted Closet program, what you think of it. If you're not, if you have any other questions, leave those down as well, and we'll get to them maybe in our next video. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed, consider subscribing. We would love to have you as part of our YouTube community.
Yeah, keep that passion burning, y'all. We hope that you're doing well. Summer is, you know, just like kind of wonky with all of our sales, but hopefully you are pivoting. Hopefully you're making like big dollar sales like us so that you're kind of weathering all of these issues with Poshmark, with eBay, all these things that might be happening during the summer. We just hope you're doing well. We're always rooting for you. We'll see you later.
Bye.